Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. There was a conversation that happened yesterday, late last night, and it pretty much continued early today. Um, there was these couple of girls that that I was talking to, and there was a couple of guys. Were at a parking lot um, close to where I live. And we talked up until late at night, and then we decided to call it a night. And then we continued early this morning. I don't know how it happened, but I got there, and they were already talking. I said, "Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?" "Yeah, we're all right. We're just picking up where we left off last time." I'm like, "Well, cool. You know, is it about the same subject we're talking about?" And I said, "Yeah." And the subject that they were talking about last night, which they came back to talk about again this morning, and I hardly ever talk to these people, anyways. They hardly ever come together to talk. It's one of those once in a great while moments. They were talking about the ethics of what is considered to be proper and not proper and stuff like that when it comes to sex. Now there was these two ladies that were against the idea of oral sex or anything that's considered sleaze because they were very religious. They were both Hispanic, and they said they were talking about certain positions that they say that that they find degrading, and the guys they were debating with were saying, "Oh, hold on. First of all, that's doggy style is not considered degrading." And she said, "Yes, it is, because she believes in the ordinary missionary kind of thing, because she doesn't want to disrespect God by doing all these different type of positions and this and that." And that's normal. That's the normal part of sex, especially like mounted position, cowgirl style or whatever, or mounted position when they're facing away, like having sex in a chair or in a sofa. And this guy was just like being all bold and just talking about, what about doing her like this and this and that, and I started to laugh. I thought it was kind of funny, but she didn't find it funny at all. And the thing is, she was saying that good girls don't do that. They should, and says only sluts suck dick. Only sluts that don't. Only women who don't respect themselves do oral sex, or have a guy do oral sex on them. And she was being very strict, and I'm like, oh my god. And she went as far, which I thought was very, very stupid and very racist, I guess. She said only a lot of white girls do that. And then the other one says, no, all white girls are fucking sluts. And then like, oh, whoa, hold on. Don't even say stupid shit like that for one thing, okay? It doesn't matter what race, whatever. I mean, it's very stupid to fucking say that. And the guys that they were debating with, they were Hispanic, and they like white women. They admit that they like suburban white girls, and they were talking about how they're like the greatest, the biggest sluts of all, suburban white girls, because they do anything, that kind of thing, whatever. Now, a lot of people are saying that that's true. Now, I'm not going to get into whether or not that's true. I'm not going to get into that. But they say they prefer white women when it comes to just getting laid because they'll do anything and they find them more attractive than their own kind. And then she was like, wait a minute, you find them more attractive than Mexican women? You're Mexican, right? Oh yeah, I'm Mexican, but I'm just saying, I like white girls. I'm attracted to white girls, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I like getting laid. And then he just gets all bold. So I like getting my dick sucked. I like this and that, and then she was getting disgusted. Like she wanted to slap him. She just gave him that look. And I'm like, oh, dude, just take it easy. Don't talk that way, man. But they were just going at it, back and forth. And the thing is, they were pushing the whole idea that good girls don't do oral sex. Good women that respect themselves don't do something degrading like that. And then they were talking shit about pornographic movies, saying that that's disrespectful towards women. And then that's when I decided to step in and say, because, well, have you seen pornographic movies? She said, no, I never saw one. But I have seen dirty magazines a couple of times growing up, because she said her older brother had one, or some friend of so and so's had one, and I came across it. And, okay, so you only saw dirty magazines once or twice in your life, and you never saw a pornographic movie. So who are you to actually judge that kind of thing? And I stepped in. I didn't give a fuck. I stepped in, and then I says what I noticed, and I turned to the guys. Porno movies, from the 1980s that I noticed in the early 80s, is more like watching a soap opera, like an X-rated version of As the World Turns or Days of Our Lives, where the husband is cheating on the wife with her best friend or her sister, or he's fooling around behind his wife's back with the maid, or some lady, his secretary at work. And like you slept with her, and or who is this slut, and that kind of thing, because porno movies were like that in that time, and except the only difference was they showed the penetration. They showed the actual penetration. That's the only thing, but regular soap operas don't do that because it's not an X-rated movie. But then after a while, it started to become more and more dirty and more sleazy, where there weren't any plots. They just show one sex scene after another, one scenario after another, like a guy at an office and the woman's there, the secretary, and she's pleasuring him sexually and this and that kind of thing, that whole whatever. If you want your a raise, you gotta do this, and then that type of thing. We're all laughing, but then at the same time, how we're noticing how stupid a lot of these pornographic movies were becoming. So we talked about that briefly, especially when I brought it up. And they don't, and these ladies didn't want to hear it anymore. They were getting disgusted. So I kind of just changed the subject. But the way they were going at each other, back and forth, and the guys were saying, "Look, it's just a normal part of sex. If you truly love your husband, and he asked you to do this, you wouldn't do it." And she says, "No, hell no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If he respects me and I respect myself." Oh, hold on. But the thing is, though, there are married couples that are deeply in love, and they perform oral sex on each other. It doesn't mean that they don't respect each other. There's women that wouldn't mind doggy style position, not just missionary, but mounted position, and all this type of different positions, and they're in love. They do exist, and then the look on their faces, like they're kind of like shaking their head, like they're in disagreement. And I was looking at them, and I was like, my God, they're so fucking brainwashed. I mean, they're so completely brainwashed. And there's about a fair amount of women that I know of that think the same way, but they're not really religious. But they think the same way about a woman who respects herself wouldn't do that, and things like that. And I thought it was very stupid. I think it was very ignorant for them to say that. So it got into a little bit of a heated debate, a little bit heated, but not to the point that it was out of control. And they were both going at it, the two guys that I knew and the two women that I knew. And they were just going at it back and forth for about half an hour. And then after that, they just changed the subject. And she said, okay, I got to get going anyway. So, and then they left. Everybody separated. And I was just like, I went back into my apartment building, and I was like, kind of like shaking my head, like, wow, that was just crazy. I mean, I understand the guy's point of view, and I wasn't siding with them just because they're guys, and disagreeing with the women just because they were women. I wasn't doing that. Even though they were doing most of the talking or the debating, I just decided to step in and just tell them what I thought, that kind of thing. So I think it's very sad how a lot of women that are like that. I don't know how much as far as the percentage wise. I honestly don't know. But it's kind of one of those things that makes you like, how can people be in denial of something that's part of our primal nature? To feel sexually aroused over this or over that, it's a natural thing. It is a natural thing. You can't be a prude on every single thing when it comes to sexuality. You just can't. You can't always be that way. And that's basically about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And can't believe I'm talking about this because I want to know what you guys think about it. So this is Dare to Speak, and to all of you, take care.